Hello, so today we're going to go through and talk about whether or not Macs should add the Ryzen Threadripper processor into their builds or into their parts, into their computers. And I know this is referring to Apple and stuff, but I feel like, we're going to talk about, what is the big perks to this. Because as you all know, Macs are notorious for being very expensive, for not necessarily the best parts. And let's talk about that a little bit. So as you know, like the highest line iMac is currently something like $5,000 for just the newest i7 processor, and it doesn't even come in. You can't get it pretty much any other way, and that's just kind of crazy. I think that that processor is only $300, and I feel like an extra $1,000 sometimes just for that processor. And obviously keep in mind, Apple likes to do a whole bunch of stuff where they boost up their price really high for no apparent reason. But let's just imagine that they do put the Threadripper processor in there. First of all, it's pretty much like, we'll just go out on a limb here and say something like triple, the power, I guess, or we'll just say even quadruple the power of like an i7. And I know we can put an i9 or different things in there. I know they might do that, but I just feel like in order to save money, which obviously Apple's not really a company to go through and save money, that's already been decided, that I feel like a Threadripper would be a lot more cheaper. It would cut down on the price a little bit and make it a little bit more obtainable. And while we're talking on the topic about maybe upgrading some things for Apple in a Mac, is obviously the graphics card in any Mac is just no bueno. We'll just leave it at that. The graphics card I would not consider in a Mac currently that I've seen so far not as good. And obviously then the Macs are not good for gaming, and that's why I didn't include the graphics card as the main part of this video, just because a processor simply is like what everybody uses. It's kind of like the main part. A lot of people that do rendering and stuff, a lot of video editing. I mean, a graphics card is important, but I mean, in no way the built-in graphics should be used. And I feel like that's exactly what they're kind of going through here and doing, is that well, my parents' computer, my parents' iMac, it's obviously, I have a Windows, it's my main computer, but they have the integrated graphics in there, and obviously you can't put anything on integrated graphics. So just the point is, I feel like a Threadripper would, number one, just the amount of performance difference over an i7, and then also like the amount of the price difference for if you were to get an i9 as well. I just feel like that's a big difference. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, thank you. Check out my channel for other stuff. And this weekend I'm going to be cooling a processor with forks. That's right, I'm looking forward to this. Solely, I'm going to be cooling a processor with some forks. That's going to be interesting. See you guys.